Like, I was like awkwardly singing to myself without realizing that Jamie turned the mic on. And I'm a little embarrassed. But anyway, welcome to the third segment of Bad Hair Day with your hosts Brianna and Jamie. In this segment, of course, as usual, we're talking about the Kardashians. But Jamie's going to go first.
We promise this is exciting stuff. There's always something happening with them, and we just have to cover it. It's not real entertainment news if you don't talk about Kardashians.
Even if it wasn't something exciting, it could be like Kylie Jenner gets a haircut, and we'd be like, oh my god, we have to talk about this. This is so important.
It's news. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm moving my mic right now because this is really awkward. Okay, so first we're gonna talk about Khloe and Lamar. So as we promised last week, we're going to we've decided to update you on all things Lamar and Khloe. So he woke up from his coma on October 16th, thankfully, and his first words were reportedly to Khloe, and he said, "Hey, baby."
Slightly awkward, slightly uncomfortable for everyone around them.
Uh-huh. And then currently he appears to be recovering. However, he will need a lot of rehab in the coming months, and he's being treated for aspiration pneumonia. There are no current plans for Lamar to leave the hospital, but there are definitely other plans in motion. He was actually discharged from Las Vegas and moved to LA. So there's that. Khloe and Lamar they got married in 2009 despite the fact that they barely knew each other back then. Now they have decided to call off their divorce since he's sworn off drugs in hopes of changing his life. And let me just remind you that the night that he was found unconscious, he had spent $75,000 on drugs and hookers. So there's that.
Jamie's very upset about this.
Really.
Because, as we've said, I don't know if we've said it in this part of our show or in other parts of our show, as in other times that we've done a show like this, but Khloe is probably Jamie's favorite person in the whole world. Aside from, Meryl Streep and that kind of thing. But
And Lady Gaga. I know.
Well, that's not the point. We can't compare all of them. But so Khloe is Jamie's favorite person, and Jamie, we had to have a little talk, a little sit down, go to Starbucks, calm her down, get her some caffeine in her system. It wasn't a good afternoon for her.
Out of all of the Kardashians, she's the one that I love the most. I think she's just amazing. And so I'm really upset that she's going to get back together with him. I mean, he cheated on her. He did drugs. He did this. He messed up. And I understand that as an experience like that where she thought they didn't know if he was going to die or what was going to happen to him. I understand that an experience like that would change your mind and maybe make you rethink that you chose to get a divorce. But at the same time, it wasn't that it was a tragic accident that, he was in a car accident and it wasn't his fault. It was some other drunk driver who crashed into him and he almost died. It was, he decided to take drugs. He decided to do this. And as a result of his decisions, he almost died. So he did it to himself. And she's been suffering for the longest time for Lamar because of his poor choices. And it's not fair to her. It's really not. And if he doesn't recover, if he doesn't stay off drugs, it's just going to be so awful and tragic for Khloe.
It's going to end up being this endless cycle of them breaking up, him doing drugs, him almost dying, her taking him back, and then we start over.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know that over the last few months, maybe since even the beginning of the year or last year, whatever, they've been talking more and getting back into contact and spending more time together, that kind of thing. So I think that now, maybe this was kind of the thing that made her realize she was still in love with him. Because she has said in previous interviews and reports and articles and all that kind of thing that if he wasn't the type of person he was, they would still be together and still be happily married.
Yeah, I've seen her do that. I mean, it's really sad. I can't imagine being so in love with someone and even after all the bad stuff, after them hurting you so much, you still love them. Because I guess she has no choice. She can't just decide, okay, I'm going to stop loving him. She is in love, and I don't know. I feel bad for her.
I feel bad. I also feel like the second that she walked into that hospital room, everyone knew they were going to end up getting back together when he woke up.
Because she never even left his side the whole time.
Yeah.
She was so worried. So it was kind of
like with everything else that was going on, she barely moved from the hospital.
And she had been talking to him for a while too, right? They had been reconnecting.
It was even on the show that they had been getting back into contact and talking again. And her family apparently is not happy with it.
Well, I can imagine why. I mean, I bet they think that too.
They think that he's going to mess up again and she's going to get heartbroken all over again. After they tried so hard to kind of repair this broken up relationship and help her out and make her feel better about herself.
Yeah, because they don't want to see her be hurt again and have to pick up the pieces again. I mean, it's painful.
It's stressful. I feel like we get more stressed out about their life than they do.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, oh my God, what is Kylie going to do this week? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I need to check her Snapchat story like 4 times a day.
And then when they do something, you're like, oh, I can't believe this. I'm stressing out.
Stressing out. I'm so stressed. And then I called Jamie, and Jamie's like, oh my God, I know, I saw it too. And then we talked about it for like 4 hours. Because we're those kinds of people.
Oh, yes.
But I think it's time to move on to a slightly happier note, and still a Kardashian note.
Of course.
But yesterday, I personally think should have been a national holiday for one reason alone.
Well, I agree with you because she is so popular.
She's perfect. Hello. It was Kim Kardashian's 35th birthday. And her husband, Kanye, he actually decided to surprise her. He rented out a luxury movie theater in Westlake, California, and planned a huge surprise party, even though all he told her was that they would be going out to dinner and a movie, which is kind of, the cliche romantic-y, let's go out for your birthday date. He rented out a movie theater to screen the new Steve Jobs film, while her family and friends did their best to dress up as a pregnant version of Kim.
That's really cute.
So they wore the kind of clothes that she would wear. And when they got there, everyone put on fake baby bumps. And I think that's like the best thing ever.
I think it's really just, I don't know how to describe it, like really weird or like cute or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but that Kanye is portrayed as this huge jerk. He's like the face of jerks.
Everyone portrays him to be this horrible, crude, rude, annoying, agitating person.
But then it comes to Kim and he's like, I love you, Kim. I'm in love with you. I love you so much. I love you more than myself.
Which is saying a lot.
It's saying a lot.
I feel like he's the kind of person that when it comes to his family,
he's so dedicated.
Which now includes all of the Kardashians, and like especially his wife and his children, he's a completely different person. And I really admire and respect that because I feel like it's rare to say that. I feel like a lot of people are so preoccupied and concerned with the way that they look for other people that they kind of end up putting their family last and on the back burner without really paying attention to them.
And he really puts his family first above anything and everything else, and then he doesn't care what he looks like to the rest of the world because his family is really important to him. So, I admire that too.
He's also, while it's kind of going back and forth between the two stories, but we even discussed, I think last time, that, while Lamar was in the hospital, the whole family was over there. Kanye was taking care of North, and he was taking care of Kourtney's kids. And he and Kourtney brought all of the kids, so all 4 of them, to Tyga's son's birthday party to kind of distract the kids so that they don't really know what's happening and what's going on. And I feel like that kind of says a lot about him because, I mean, you have to be nice to your wife's family, but you don't have to
take care of 4 children. I mean,
you don't have to take care of her sister's children.
Yeah,
for days on end by yourself. So I don't know. I think it's different. I feel like him being with Kim shows this whole other side of him that no one really would have expected, despite the fact that he's been with other people.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we can relate to that because, I mean, you've mentioned your baby cousin, and I mentioned my sister. They're about the same age, and we admit that we don't like children, that we just don't want children. And then it comes to them, and we're like... God.
I melt. Every time I see her, or I hear of her, or I see this, like, any picture or anything to do with her, like, I'll walk into Toys R Us, she's obsessed with the Minions, and I'll see, like, a Minion or, like, the movie, and I'm like, oh my God, my baby, I miss her so much. And then I have to call my aunt to check up on her.
Yeah.
And she's like, Brianna, what are you doing? We spoke 3 hours ago. I'm fine. The baby's fine.
Yeah.
Go back to class. And it's like, it's the weirdest thing because I am not a nice person. And I am not, like, this sweet and loving kind of person. But I feel like certain people like that end up being around other certain people and they just melt and turn into this big mush.
Yeah, because other children, I mean, I don't hate them, obviously, but...
You're not fond of their presence around you.
I'm like, okay, you're a child, you're cute, like, okay, I don't really care. But then it comes to my baby sister, and I'm like... Come here. Let me hug you. Let me kiss your tiny cheeks. I bought you a toy here. You want to play? You want to play dress up? Here, I'll sit here and you sit on my lap and we can play together and watch movies and we can sing and I'll sing to you. And I turn into someone completely different.
You really do, and it's so cute. It's like you like light up when you talk about her, and it's the most adorable thing because it's not something that someone who didn't know that about you would expect from you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, I don't know, that's the case with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But Kanye is like my favorite person in the world, or at least one of many, but he's close to the top
Pretty
of the
up there,
list.
yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think
We are going to, well, I guess that's the end of today's episode. Next week we're going to get back. We're probably going to keep you updated on anything else the Kardashians do, even if it's just like Kim bending down to tie a shoelace. But we have
can't
to.
because she's pregnant.
Well, oh my God, that's so true. What if her shoes get untied? What are we gonna do?
Kanye will
Like-
tie them for her.
Okay, romantic shoe tying.
Okay.
But we're gonna keep you updated, and we'll be back next week.